Hi guys, and welcome to the finals of Zachbsain's Flash Tournament. So if you guys were following the stream, unfortunately it did cut out, or the resolution dropped, so we tried re-uploading the stream, and unfortunately YouTube just absolutely freaked out. It was not letting people see the stream, and then it would upload 3-minute clips of it. All very super bizarre, but nothing new for YouTube, I suppose. So the finals here are going to be up as a separate video. So if you guys are finding this for the first time, please do hop back a video, and hopefully by now the live stream should be up. And that's going to be the two semi-finals. But now we're in the finals with Salted Katana here, in charge of the Skaven, up against Zachbsain himself, who is the current champion of my own tournament, Death Before Dishonor. So let's get this underway. Now it looks like he's gone very cheap and cheerful in the front line for Skaven, as you often do. A mixture of Clan Rat Spearmen mixed in with those classic normal Clan Rats, and I believe he does in fact have the regiment-renowned Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. Apart from having one of the most badass names in the game, they wield flaming swords, the little rat followings of Beric Dondarrion. Overall, pretty badass, cause flaming damage, and a little bit more tanky than their brethren. He does have the Natty Bobu Sharpshooters, a stupidly good unit at sniping out enemy troops. Huge amount of damage, have Stalk, they're just a very good unit overall. In the back, I really like this play. He's got 3 units of Rat Ogres, just the 3 by the looks of it, defending the back line, as it looks like there's another unit of Warlock Giselles as well. These guys, I feel like a lot of people make the mistake of using them as kind of a flanking force. Instead, use them defensively and to counter opponents' cav, I think works really well. Now for his lord, he does have Ittic Claw up on his Doom Wheel here, so looking very badass and kind of maniacal, Pinky in the Brain style creations. Let's see what he's brought with him. He does have Storm Demon, Unlimited Power. The Brass Orb, which did get a heavy nerf, but still pretty good. Scorch, Death Frenzy, Howling Warp Gale, Warp Lightning, which he used fantastically in a previous game, so it should be interesting to see. And I think for the most part, that looks like that is his entire army. So let's have a little look at the Empire forces of Zachbsain. So he does have 2 units of the Knights of the Blazing Sun, which are very cool, just flanking round on the side here. Now he does have a lot of Free Company Militia, which have vanguarded up. I think these guys might struggle a little bit. They are quite away from their friendly forces, but we'll see how they do. They're a crossbreed, melee and range kind of hybrid. They're quite close quarters fighting overall, but they're decent. They should be pretty decent up against Skaven. As long as they don't get picked apart, they are a little bit isolated at the moment. Now for his main actual battle line, I really like his pick here of going for the Flagellants. I can never quite say that. I don't know if to say Flagellants. There's a bit of a tongue twist there, but the Flagellants, these guys are unbreakable, so they're fantastic at chasing down our, getting in the back line as well as being a real sticky unit to try and deal with. And they're good at, tearing apart basic Skaven, which is always nice and good fun. He's got a few units of those, including the Regiment of Renowned version, and he also looks like he has the Silver Bullet handguns in the back, which would be great for taking down Ittic Claw if they can get some shots on him, or any big targets the opponent brings. It also has the Sigma Suns, which are also unbreakable, so a massive unbreakable line, which I think is a really fantastic pick here, actually, against the Skaven. And it looks like he's gone for Volkmar the Grim. Look at this badass on his little chariot. Very strange pick here. I love it. I don't see this guy too often. He does have a banishment of his own, Ground Sulfur, and he has big Area of Effect abilities. He, of course, also causes terror, which is very good if you can get in the midst of this Skaven line. So without further ado, let's get this underway. It looks like there is the classic Sneaky Death Run as well, obviously doing fantastic in the semi-finals for Salted Katana. I kind of as predicted, these 3 companies just get absolutely mowed down, charged directly by these Rat Ogres, and that's just wasted gold there. So a bit of a tough start. Looks like there is a Wizard I missed, the Bright Wizard, bringing a couple of flaming heads there, and looks like Firestorm as well. Is that Firestorm? No, just the Firebolt and the Burning Head. But in return, Volkmar Grim, he's going to be able to shatter off a lot of these units, but that is a big blow, just instantly losing 2 Free Company. But I don't think it's the end of the world. They're not the most expensive, and I really do like this Empire build. It's super sticky, so even if he takes losses, he can kind of hang around in the fight. Now, these Death Runners are having to do the very long trek back over. They don't have too many good targets nearby. And the Knights of the Blazing Sun, it'd be interesting how he uses these guys. There's also some Outriders who are vanguarded, but they're kind of being just driven off here by Skaven slaves. These guys, I think, are going to be key. Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to have to charge in and hopefully do a ton amount of damage. It looks like they might be able to get onto these Warlock Giselles. There's Rat Ogres committed to the frontal assault, and They did leave these guys unprotected. This is what I'm talking about when using Rat Ogres defensively, but you know, they still killed 2 free company. That is not worth it if they end up losing both these Giselles, who are in very close proximity to these knights and all these unbreakable units. Now, big Volkmar is getting in here, he's dropping his spells, and he's already managed to break off 2 free units by the looks of it, and he's now rolling towards his Rat Ogres, where I don't think he wants to be. I would take his butt over into here and try and kind of crump on these smaller units. The Rat Ogres, of course, do a decent job against large troops, but they're backing off. They are scared by the mighty moustache twirling wizard up here. It's a bit of a badass overall. Although the Rat Ogres have found some more free company, and silver bullets is their favourite feast, some kind of favourite meal by the looks of it. As they kind of did earlier, they're just going to crump these guys apart. They are taking a little bit of damage here by the silver bullets, who are slightly obstructed. But yeah, it looks like he realised that, and he's going to push through and just start smashing these guys up pretty bad. So in the back here, it looks like the Giselles, they've kind of been compromised by the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Yeah, it looks like they have actually gained by quite a lot here. And also, all these unbreakable units are swarming over them. It's a cause a little bit danger close right here. I mean, he's a very good melee combatant, but he doesn't get pinned down by mass units with a lot of mass, right? Like forces and other units such as that. They can really pin him in, and he can't use his ultimate effectiveness. What he wants to be doing is rolling through these lines of kind of cheaper units, and really easily break them. Of course, with this pick, that all these units are unbreakable for the most part, apart from obviously free company militia and all this stuff, but they're getting cleared up quite comfortably over on the side by these Rat Ogres. Looks like he did manage to get a decent bit of crossfire though going, for a little bit at least, because these Rat Ogres have taken a bit of a beating, but overall they're just going to be chased off. So it looks like the Skaven are going to win that left flank, unless these Knights go run over there, and this middle pocket seems to be favouring the Empire. So what a comeback after that initial loss, instantly losing just 2 units just like that. He has managed to kind of claw his way back in. Now there's a big old leadership battle going down here between Volkmar and Itikflor. I mean, he doesn't want to get stuck in combat like this. I mean, these Knights of the Blazing Sun, they won't do the most damage to him, but it all adds up. He's completely surrounded. He's in a really difficult position now. Nice brass orb, however, coming down on the Sigma Suns, but the fact none of these units run away is really causing problems for the Skaven right now. We do have another unit of Outriders here. They're just hunting down the Warlock Giselles. Looks like some Skaven clan rats with spears are trying to chase after them, and they'll be able to poke these guys down quickly. It looks like they might be able to break off these Warlock Giselles first. And in the back, Knights of the Blazing Sun are just picking off these isolated Skaven targets. Always good to bring cav against Skaven because they rout and run away a lot. They often come back, so you want these units just to run around and mop up those units when they do, or preferably, you know, chase them off the field. It looks like there was a massive rout here in the middle. Volkmar, he's just full health right now. He does not care. He's rolling through, dropping all his buffs. He has 22% damage resistance on him right now. He's just scaring off all these units really successfully. So fantastic play overall so far by Zach. Well, by both of them, to be honest. That early pick was a really good by Sultan Katana. But Zach looks like he's managed to stabilise again, and the power balance is going in his favour. His Outriders have been scared off, but these rats should be cleaned up by the Knights of the Blazing Sun. And he has a fairly strong pocket of strength here. He does still have to deal with Itikflor and these Rat Ogres. I like this play. Knowing you're going to lose that fight, there's no point just sending resources over there, so he does use the mobility of Itikflor, come over to the left and try and help deal with these guys over here. So it looks like the Death Runners haven't actually really managed to do anything yet. They had a massive trek to do. I mean, often you'll see Empire try and bring artillery pieces and whatnot, so I still like this pick. But unfortunately, they have kind of met their match here. But it is still nice to have a full health, rather deadly unit this late into the game. But they are about to receive a charge here by the Knights of the Blazing Sun, slightly downhill as well. And those little rats are going to be sent absolutely flying. Lovely counter charge here though by the Rat Ogres. We'll be able to beat these guys down, but very good play, very good micro just dragging these guys away instantly. Volkmar's rolling in there, and I mean, it's all dragging to do damage to him, but they need to do it a ton. He is, of course, unbreakable himself, dropping that balancement down, doing a decent amount of damage to the Rat Ogres. Not, you know, the perfect target, but still, might as well use it when you've got it. Nice brass orb going down on these Sigma Suns. They're probably very sick of this type of magic at the moment. They've been hit by a couple of those, I believe. It looks like the banishment actually did go through a few of his own troops. But the Skaven are just starting to buckle. They just can't hold up to the might of Volkmar the Grim. Back and forth. Eric is super useful in this situation. He's pointing at them, he's judging them. It looks like a lot of the Rat Ogres are even starting to break and run for it. So it's, of course, very terrible for them, especially to look who's waiting in the back. Knights of the Blazing Sun and Outriders, who can chase off these rather expensive units. And I feel like this is going to be it for him, but I don't know what this game can do in this situation. It's Claw's trying to salvage everything, trying to rally some of his troops over here, dropping some spells down on the Knights of Blazing Sun. I believe we have a little lightning come in, which does some damage, but that is army loss to settle in. And that is game 1 to Zachbsain. Can he be the champion of 2 tournaments back to back in a row? Let's find out. So this time, Salted Katana is going up with the Vampire Coast, up against Zachbsain's Greenskins, and he's brought Grimgor himself, one absolute lad. As of course Grimgor is as well. He's the biggest and the baddest of the orcs. Unfortunately, as far as Total War is concerned, an absolute wet lettuce. He's pretty bad. Footlords in general tend to struggle. But let's see how he does. You never know. He's done incredibly good so far in this tournament. So, for Salted Katana and the Vampire Coast, let's see what he has. He has a unit of Scurvy Dogs, always a good pick for chasing off troops, especially against low morale factions like the Greenskins. For the front line, he has gone for Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs, cheap and cheerful, just there to hold the line. Looks like there's another unit of Scurvy Dogs there as well. And in the back, he has Zombie Pirate Deckhands mobs with Polearms. It's also a really good kind of utility unit. And they're going to be protecting the Shade Wraith Gunners. So the Regiment Renowned Deck Gunners, they are of course a field, which is always a nice pick against Greenskins. They don't have the most amount of magic damage, so I actually really like this pick. Be interesting to see how they play. I haven't seen them used too much. He has brought the Gallows Giant, the Necrofex Colossus, Regiment Renowned Flamethrower Beast. Now if he does have a matchup to be good in, this is it. This, or maybe even Vampire Counts. Those kind of cheaper units, especially against these guys actually, because I believe the Flamethrower should have Discouragement. There you go. So when he hits people with his Flamethrowers, it does burn them. -8 leadership. Really nice pick overall, as long as he can get his Arc of Fires done correctly. As he used to really struggle with line of sight, I think he has been a bit fixed. Now for his Lord, he has gone for Luther Harkon, the mad vampire, up here on his rather horrifying looking mount here. His Terrorgeist with all these barnacles, looking very cool. Let's see what he's brought. Slung Gold. He's brought Hornswaggle, which is a very good hex ability. And yeah, looks like a lot of the kind of standard stuff. Of course, he has Death Shriek as well on the Terrorgeist. Overall, I really like his pick. He can just float up in the sky and kind of pick on their lords and heroes with his gun. He can also go toe-to-toe with most of them in combat, and of course, great mobility. So I really like that pick overall. Now for Zachbsain and the mighty hordes, the Greenskins. Looks like he's gone for a mixture of Orc Boys in the front line, flanked by some Savage Orcs. So let's see, you don't need, mainly just basic Orcs and 1 unit of Savage Orcs. These guys will do a decent enough job breaking through that front line. You don't need to go too elite up against the coast. You don't want to give them too many good targets to shoot at. In the back, he does have a load of Orc Arrow Boys. I like these guys over the Goblins in this matchup. Normally I prefer Goblins, but with someone who can summon units on top of them, these guys are pretty decent melee combatants either way, so they can kind of fend off zombies and at least hold their own a little bit. Now in the back line, we have Orc Biggins, mixed in with Savage Orc Biggins. These guys are anti-large and pretty decent damages. Actually, they're not anti-large. Maybe that's the normal Biggins, which are anti-large. But either way, these guys do a decent amount of damage and should do fairly good at kind of tearing through this front line quickly. Just if their leadership can hold against some of these horrifying creatures up here. Looks like there was also a Vampire Fleet Captain of Death we missed earlier. It's interesting to see how this Gallows Giant does. And we also have an Orc Shaman here as well, so let's see what he has. He's of course riding a Mighty Boar, which is the best type of mount. Shield of Scroll, which is rather nice. Here we go. Fist of Gork. And Brainbuster. I really like the use of Brainbuster here. So let's get this underway and see how it goes. And of course I haven't seen these before, so I actually don't know who wins the tournament, so it's pretty exciting. It is still a best of 3 finals. So we can also take a guess depending on the amount of replays and stuff I have, but if you guys manage to notice. But it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. Some early shots coming in. Not the most amount of damage dealt so far by those guys, but in comes the big flamethrowers, as you can see. It does a real good amount of damage there. 12 kills on the first volley. Let's have a little look. Very cool animations there. And you can see it's already broken his Orc Boys. That is what this is going to be an absolute beast for. They're terrored actually, I think, at the moment. What has been popped? And that's just left these Zombie Pirate Deckhands in a much better situation. They are going to be running to the hills. There's early shots coming down on Grimgor. He has been hornswaggled and taunted as well. And this is the problem with Grimgor. He's just going to get a shot, and there's nothing he can do. And there's another breath attack coming down on him as well, and he's going to go down. There's just nothing he can do in this matchup. Luther Harkin is just a perfect counter for Grimgor. He's slow, he just can't get away. Look at him, he's just... Oh, I wish he was better, I really do. I like bringing him anyway, but it's not gone too good. However, the Orcs have managed to get into the backline a little bit, but they're being clogged up still by Polons, allowing these gunners to still do their work. Tried getting around the flank with the Savage Orcs, but again, they've been plugged up. Yes, they're going to win this engagement, but is it going to be too little too late for all these guns still online? One of them, of course, being the Black Spot as well. It's a Regiment Renowned version, a very good unit overall. And as we can see, the Gallows Giant is just moving in now, taking a bit of damage, as have these Wraith Gunners, but they should easily be able to clear up these Orcs with the Arrow Boys. And yeah, you can see the shots coming in. That didn't seem to actually make too good contact. But overall, he's up to 27 kills, so not too bad. However, he's taken a lot of damage in return. And these Orc Boys are starting to break through the front line. I'm just a little worried for them that with Grimgor gone, as soon as Harkin gets anywhere, he's just going to start terrorizing people off the field. Yeah, Grimgor has been completely shattered. And it looks like the Scurvy Dogs have now decided to spring the ambush. They popped in the back line. Great play realigning their formation here so they can force their way through that gap. Shut down these Orc Arrow Boys. Yes, they're being mobbed by big uns, but they should still get decent damage. Yeah, look, they might break a little bit too quick. But over on the right-hand flank, Luther has jumped in as well, and he's just going to start terrorizing these guys so bad. Wraith Gunners, only 7 kills. They haven't seemed to be doing too much damage. Their shots seem to just kind of be going through things. So I'm not sure if that's a positioning fault or a game fault there. I'm kind of unsure on that one. Looks like we have some more Scurvy Dogs who are going to be trying to get round the back again. And the Orc front line, it is winning the front though. It is winning. This is doable. I'm not sure. The power balance though is in favour of the coast. And here we go. We have a lot of routing units. And this is where the Scurvy Dogs just come into play. They're going to chase these guys down and get fantastic value. Look how helpful this unit of Savage Orc Biggins is. Arrow Boys, they're just going to feast on their flesh. So they don't get caught up. Yeah, there you go. He notices. And that's fantastic value to Scurvy Dogs. That's what you want them for. And that Gallows Giant, if it can stay online, is going to make these people rout all day long. Orcs have broken through here. If he notices with these guys, he should be able to push them into the back line here, hop on top of this Black Spot and whatnot. It looks like the Gallows Giant may go down here as well. That constant fire coming in from the Orc Arrow Boys hidden in the trees here. Plus some of these Savage Orc Biggins just hacking at its leg. Looks like it may go down to 300 health, 200. Surely he's going to go down. Oh, yeah, it looks like he's about down and out, but still, 49 kills. He forced a lot of routes. Maybe didn't quite pay for himself, but come on, it's a giant flaming monster. Now the Shade Wraith Gunners might be having a bit better time. Now their front line's actually broken. This happens a lot with me at Iron Drakes. They have such a better field of vision now. They do manage to break off that unit. Oh. So overall, quite a pitched fight at the moment. Let's see how Harkin's doing. He's just fully health. I think they're really going to struggle. I think they don't really have anything to take out Luther Harkin anymore. He should just go back and just clear up this back line, allow the guns to do their work, or just shut down the Orc back line himself. So yeah, we have these Scurvy Dogs in the back, up to 54 kills now, just hunting down these Arrow Boys. There's one unit of Savage Orcs might be able to come over and protect, so they do decent in combat. I don't think it's going to be enough. And Harkin, he's just sitting up in the sky, pistoling this Orc Shaman. Great play. No need to get down there and engage with all these Orc Boys. We're left just standing here right now. Breath attacks, pistol attacks, take out the Orc leadership. This Orc Shaman was the only thing holding everything together. And in the back lines, even though they managed to finally break through, this could have been perfect. Because of the lack of leadership, they're all just going to be absolutely running for the hills. And I think this has to be game. I can't see the Orcs bringing it back now that Shaman dead. He's completely shattered as well. Some Scurvy Dogs have come back and they're going to hop on these Arrow Boys. In the back there's a few units, but to be honest, by the time they get back they will probably end up routing. Shots coming in with the Shade Wraith Gunners. Yeah, let's see how they're doing. 41 kills. I'm not convinced on them yet, but they did a decent amount of work. Just for the first part of the battle, they didn't seem to do too much, but they do take a lot of shots as well. So they do make people waste a lot of ammo. They have to be firing at better targets. So Arrow Boys firing into the Black Spot, which is a nice play. But I don't know, some of your Biggins might be able to help drag down Luther with some support for some Arrow Boys. But he's still a beast in combat regardless who he's up against, up to 59 kills as well. And with that terror and the lack of leadership on everyone, can't see this ending too well. Scurvy Dogs in the back though have finally been put down though. Looks like the Savage Orcs are trying to help out their homies here, the Orc Boys. But over in the distance we have even more routing units, some of which have completely shattered now. Shade Wraith Gunners just supporting Luther here, helping fend off those Savage Orc Biggins, and they do start to rout themselves. Power balance now is fairly heavily in the Vampire Coast's favour. Orc boys trying to charge back in. Might even be better just leave them here to protect these arrow boys, as Luther is flying over. But then again, what are they going to do against, you know, such reckless hate? Not too much. And in he comes. And yeah, he's just going to start feasting these guys. They get out their little shanks and their little spiked clubs, but their leadership is going to tank super quickly. Harkin has started to take a bit of damage now, but it looks like the backline is pretty safe. Every time anyone gets anywhere near, they just fire together as a duo and shatter those units off. As we can see, everyone's starting to break now. There's a little pocket of strength here in the middle. Using the trees for protection is a good shout. It helps against some of the range fire, and of course, big monsters have a little bit of a penalty fighting in woods. That is such a cool walk animation where it moves its wings forward and kind of skulks forward. But he has managed to shatter off these savage orcs. There are some rallying orc biggins, but these orc arrow boys are doomed, I'm afraid. And I can't see this going too well. Savage orcs have been defeated here. Vampire Fleet Captain getting involved as well, up to 56 kills, which is pretty nice. There's no slouch in combat. Plus, of course, with all her death magic, she should be getting a few kills regardless of spirit leeches and so forth. Luke Harkin playing a little bit safe now, picking off these side units, not getting involved in this main blob. But in comes the Fleet Captain, up come the Black Spawn, up come the Shade Graves. I feel that's going to be game. So we're just going to fast forward here because I thought it's just going to be a bit of a shooter match for a while. The Fleet Captain runs in and disrupts. And Harkin does just fly over, and that should end up terrorizing these guys, I assume. So regardless though, great play by both players. The fact he lost Grimgor that early and still managed to make it this close. I mean, it's not even over yet. He's managed to get some guys in the back here. Maybe that was a bit of a premature fast forward there. He managed to get on top of the black spot here. And he's managed to shut down the Shadebrave Gunners, who charge into combat out of ammo. Maybe the Orcs can pull this out. Maybe they can. It is possible right now. There's not too much going for the coast anymore. Just Luther Harkin. Black Spot really don't want to be in combat too much. But the arrows are running low. I just don't know how they're going to do the damage. I really don't. Orc Arrow Boys though, still flinging in some shots. It's all adding up. Let's see, is there anything that's coming back? No, shattered, shattered, shattered. Routing, maybe they come back. 122 kills on Orc Boys is great value. But I don't know. I don't think they have enough in them to take out Harkin here. Power balances, yeah, it swoops in their favour. Yeah, there you go. There is all the routing and the army losses. Very close battle though, very hotly contested there. Zach almost managed to pull that funnel in 2 games. But it looks like it is going to the final game. Let's go check it out. So Salted Katana is going to be in charge of the mighty Dowie, and Zachbsain is going to be in control of the Chaos. Now, of course, I was rooting for Zach because he is the champion of my current tournament. Also invited me to play in this one, which is rather kind of him. However, come on, it's the dwarves. You always have to back the dwarves. They're just so cool. And he's gone for an incredibly interesting build here, Salted Katana, sorry. A dwarf geometry at its finest, but look how elite and tiny this build is. Here's the Norgrim Ironbreakers in the front line. Regiment-renowned Ironbreakers, super ridiculously tanky, also have a lot of very powerful blasting charges. On either flank, he also has a unit of Ironbreakers, and protecting the back, he has the Peak Gate Guard. Now, I do really like these guys. They do a ton of damage, armor sundering, and so forth. However, if I was going to attack this block, I would try and go through them, as they don't have the best defensive stats. You'd hopefully break the block, dwarf geometry as quick as possible. Once you do, what do you meet on the inside? Dragonback Slayers, we spoke about previously in the tournament. Very good unit overall. Power of the Dragonback is super useful as well. And a Rune Lord who is mad swagging right now with his and. Look at that. I would hate to be these dwarves. That looks incredibly heavy. But let's see what he's bought. He has, of course, bought the Master Rune of Negation, which is going to be so good in these tight Dowie boxes. 44% damage resistance. If you use that at key time, it is so good. And Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Master Rune of Grungy, 20% missile resistance. Useful if he's brought any of those Marauder Thronaxum. And also 15% magic resistance with Locus of Power. So that's very nice over there. And top his army off here. He's gone for 3 units of Gyrocopters with Brimstone guns. But the insanity. The insanity. A Skyhammer Gyro Bomber Regiment of Renowned. I don't know what to say. Inner finals, bringing this bad boy. I mean, it drops bombs. It can do a decent amount of work. I mean, if there was a single Manticore, he would be in deep trouble. It'd be interesting to see how it plays. That is a very off-meta pick. So let's go see what Zach has in his army. He's on super wide, which is obviously a great way of playing against dwarves. Now he has the Mirror Guard on the flank, regiment around Chaos Warriors. He's then got a mixture of Chaos Marauders by the looks of it, and Chaos Warriors with great weapons. I really like the Chaos Warriors with great weapons, and Marauders are a decent unit overall. They will struggle a little bit against the armor. So it looks like he's got that for his whole front line. He does also have a unit of Chaos Trolls. Is there a second unit, or is it just the one? Looks like he hasn't gone for the perfect symmetry. Oh no, he does. So he has gone for the 2 units of Chaos Trolls. I'm not sure what the difference is between Chaos Trolls and Orc Trolls, but I'll have to look into that. And over on this flank, he also has Marauder Horsemen with Thrown Axes, Chaos Warhounds, and a Chaos Chariot. So very cool overall. On the other side, he also has a Chaos Chariot and Chaos Warhounds, and again, Marauders Horsemen with Thrown Axes. And for his leadership, he has gone for the giant pigeon itself, Sartorial, the Everwatcher. Really good against dwarfs because he has that missile resistance, and he can just push through and break formations, which could turn the battle against this kind of box formation. He can just rampage his way through, and they have nowhere near enough mass to stop him. He's also brought along with him Transmutation of Lead, which is going to be super good, Glittering Robe, and Plague of Rust. No, if he'd brought the damage one, I'm trying to think of what it's called off the top of my head. It's close to Transmutation of Lead, but it's not. I'm going to have to look that up after. That's going to drive me insane. But it's an air effect damage, and that'd be so good in this situation to be able to tag all these units. However, dwarfs still have magic resistance, so it's not perfect. Let's get this finals underway. Always good to see a final as well go to the 3rd game. So it looks like the Gyrocopters are going to be picking off these Marauder Horsemen with Thrown Axes. Great pick, good. Just they're going quite squishy at this moment. I already managed to break one off, and there's no air force to try and stop him right now, so it's very good. Sartorial does go rampaging through those Norgrim Ironbreakers. As you can see, he can just push through. Even if these Slayers trying to attack him and slow him down, he's just going to walk through, doing. I mean, he didn't get any kills. He didn't really do any damage of any note. These Ironbreakers, of course, are sturdy folk. We have some Chaos Trolls go rampaging through Ironbreakers. Probably should have waited for the rest of his forces, as now the Dragonback Slayers are just going to be able to countercharge, and of course, they're perfect for taking down Chaos Trolls. The rest of the forces are slowly moving up. It looks like he's going to be trying to get a full surround. It looks like some blaster charges were thrown onto some Chaos Warhounds in the back here. These Chaos Chariots try and force their way through, but they're just met by these massive bodies of Norgrim Ironbreakers who do not want to go down. They're holding the line, and these chariots are actually really struggling to break through. Big, massive transmutation of lead, though, and upgraded both does go down. Minus 26 melee attack, minus 50% weapon strength. However, there is a counter of the Mastering of Negation with 44% damage resistance, so it can be a bit of a slog to start with no one doing much damage to anyone. Then it should really get cracking. Look how these Gyrocopters are doing. They've so far just been picking off the Marauder Horsemen, but once they pick them off, they're going to be able to come in. And this Gyrocopter, I mean, he's going to be able to drop bombs. It is a tightly packed formation. Let's see, is he going to come in with a big bomb? He does, and that is a pretty good amount of damage to these Chaos Marauders, especially because they have the Glittering Robe on them, upgraded, plus 60 armor. So he's going for that absolute mosh pit tactic right now, which is pretty good. And it looks like the Peak Gate Guard are slowly starting to crumble. I think it's really the section he needs to attack and push through. More bombs are being dropped though. I think that was by the regular Gyrocopter this time. And I mean, he's up to 14 kills with the Skyhammer. I'm just so impressed. I'm still in shock that he's actually brought that in. And it looks like the Gyrocopters are now starting to target down these Chaos Chariots, which is obviously a fantastic choice. But in the back, the Harrows have started to rally a little bit. They do have Plague of Rust on them still. They're trying to protect this Runelord as best as they can. Coral is just floating around being the annoying pigeon he is. The Ironbreakers aren't taking that much damage. Look at this. I mean, they've taken about, what, a quarter, maybe a third? And they've held for quite a long time in that front line against so many troops. But can they hold indefinitely? I mean, every dwarf that goes down is, of course, going to be worth 2 of every Chaos Warrior that goes down, just due to their values. So it looks like the Skyhammer and maybe some of these Gyrocopters have switched their targets on to Chaos Trolls, which I quite like. They're dropping some bombs on these Chaos Marauders as well, trying to break them off. But it looks like the Zords for Peak Gate Guard do start to run. They've got 62 kills, which isn't too bad, but it looks like they've mainly been fine Marauders, and they're going to be running for the hills. And the problem with a box formation like this, and dwarves in general, now it's like this beat up unit of Chaos Warhounds can just chase these guys down and get fantastic value. There's no chance of them coming back. More bombs being dropped by the Skyhammer though, up to 18 kills. Not bad at all. Managed to also break off these Chaos Marauders. There's some Horsemen who are now thrown in. Not sure what their targets. Looks like they're trying to take some of these Gyro Bombers and Gyrocopters offline. I think that's a waste. You're not going to be able to finish them off with the amount of troops you have. I don't think he can just float away. I think you've got to leave them and let them do their damage. It's going to be painful, but let it happen. Another Rune of Negation coming down, which is just so good in the box build. Ironbreakers, 33 kills here. The Drownback Slaves up to 29. They're fighting Marauders, which isn't what they want to fight. They want to really push themselves into these Chaos Control. It looks like some of them might have found to get close. No, they're still standing over there a little bit. The Joycops are shooting in, and the power balance is going in favour of Salted Katana and the Dowey of this Madness build. We saw another Madness build earlier on in the tournament. If you want to go back and watch the previous video, I believe it's in the second game of me against Zach, who brought a crazy dwarf build. So it's nice to get a little bit of his own medicine here. The Dragonback Slaves do hop on top of the tutorial here, and they're going to start dragging down. It's not where he wants to be, down to 25 health. It looks like the Giant Chicken goes down. Chaos aren't out of this yet, though. They still have a lot of units on the field, but they have so much armor piercing. But those Iron Breakers are just so tough, especially with Rune of Negations. And it looks like the Chaos are starting to break here. Looks like something. What do they have left on the field? Nope, that's army losses, and they've been completely shattered. It looks like the title of this Flash tournament, which was Zach's one that he hosted, goes to Assaulted Katana of the 2-1 final over Zachbsain. Very well played to both the players there and everyone involved in the tournament. Let's go to the end stats there. What a build. What pure madness drove him to pick this. Oh, we'll never know, but it worked. Bringing the Skyhammer is that's just super gangster to have the balls to do that in the final. And it was best of 3, of course, so that was a Desire. It could have gone either way. Throughout the tournament, everyone played very fantastically. It was really good watching these kind of high quality players, and of course playing against some myself. Apologies for the problems we had with the stream. This was all meant to be on one stream, but YouTube just had a hissy fit, which is super frustrating. I'll look into that before the next Death Before Dishonor, which should hopefully be coming in probably 2 weeks. I need to sort it out with the competitors and make sure we get our reigning champ, Zach, back in as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. It helps out the channel no ends as we're trying to grow. And yeah, once again, apologies for the stream, super annoying, but hopefully you guys managed to, everyone who was watching the stream manages to find this video and comes up. So, peace out guys, see you next time, stay awesome, and well done once again to our new champion, Salted Katana. Peace, peace.